Good evening, Facebook, YouTube friends. Thank you very much for showing up this evening. I am running solo this evening, so if if you have any questions, please type them in the chat box. Happy to answer them. But a lot of my audience is going to be coming through Zoom, so most of my attention will be there. So my apologies. It might take me a little while to get to your questions, but I promise you I will get to all of your questions before we break this evening. Thank you very much for watching. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for carving out some time on a Tuesday. First time I've done this on a Tuesday, usually Wednesdays. But as the holiday plans thicken, commitments change and move my calendar around, so I stray from Wednesdays to Tuesdays. So the season is quickly approaching us. I don't remember, maybe it's just me getting older. Um, Things just seem to be flying by from a time standpoint. So, want to thank you all very much for attending this evening. Um, Always appreciate your time. The webinar this evening is being recorded. So, if you'd like a copy of it, you can always go out on YouTube. I stream it live on Facebook events and YouTube Live, so you can always catch them out there. Or I do have replays that I can email people as well. So if and I have people that come back to my webinars several times, just because everyone's just a little bit different with regards to grasping the content. And I apologize. Tonight is going to be no exception. I am going to throw more content at you than I ever have before. That's just because there is a lot going on in the space right now. And I think it's very, very important for people to realize where things not only are right now, but where they will be in the short period of time. And what I mean by that is we are going to see more first-time homebuyer and down payment assistance programs hit in, this is just my opinion, in the next 6 months than we ever have before. And the reason is there is actually a housing crisis going on right now. Actually, the U.S. Secretary of Dissent came out back in Labor Day and acknowledged it. And I can't believe it's really not getting that much press. He actually said that there might be an executive order coming at that time. Actually, if you go back and look, U.S. Housing Secretary of Dissent was actually on Labor Day. And what he basically said was they are not pulling the rug or pulling the plug on any home buyer down payment assistance or grants. In fact, they're going to come up with some additional ways to complement what we have. And we've already seen it by way of possibly offering a 50-year mortgage, possibly making mortgages portable, things like that. So nothing's definite yet, but they sure are. Oh, also, Fannie Mae actually reducing, not having credit score requirements anymore for large down payments. A lot of different things that are on the horizon. They are throwing out the words like tax credits, and there is some chatter that they might try to find ways to apply those at the time of closing. So, because I mean, tax credits are great, but we need the money now to get into the houses. That's how I look at it. So anyways, a lot of things are on the horizon, and I find the quicker you get your ducks in a row, when it comes to them offering these programs, the floodgates are going to open. And when those floodgates open, it is going to be not very fun times, because I feel like here, at least where I am, I'm in southeastern Michigan, and I actually get people that attend from all over the country. So if you could please, in the chat box, let me know where you are possibly thinking of moving to. It helps me curtail what I'm going to go over this evening, and let people know if they're outside of the southeastern Michigan area. I do have options, like I said, available all over the country. So with that being said, I'm going to jump right into it because we have a lot of things to cover this evening. The first thing I want to tell you is my promise is, okay, this evening, there is no sales pitch. I'm not here to sell you anything. We are going to go over all of the programs that are out there. There's actually over not all of them, but there are over 2,500 programs and grants that would allow people to purchase with zero money out of pocket across the country. I'm actually going to give you access to my new website, which isn't launched yet, but we actually have a tool on the website where you can put in an address anywhere in the country and see how many programs it qualifies for. In addition, we're going to go over quickly what the qualifications are for a lot of these programs, how I structure these deals to get in with just a few $1,000s out of pocket. You're going to see that's a common thread with all of the people that I tend to work with, because I realize it's usually a shortage of money of what holds people back. And by the way, in addition, tell me, besides what areas, let's see what we've got here. So what areas you are looking in. Let's see, Tennessee. All right, nice. Lots of programs in Tennessee. I had one a couple of months ago. I think it was $40,000 in Tennessee that's available. Downriver, got it. Macomb County, actually got a house in Macomb County I might highlight this evening. Michigan, Wayne County. Emily Cook, oh my gosh. Oh, Emily, always a pleasure to have you on board. Emily is like she's actually my favorite all-time customer. I shouldn't say that because I always get some that pop up. But Emily, you are a hero of mine. And well, we're going to go over Emily's story in a little bit, because Emily, I don't know whether Emily realizes it or not, but she actually broke open the floodgates for some programs that were available through the Detroit Housing Commission that a lot of people didn't realize were even there. And she was a pioneer there. So in addition, we're going to teach you how to find quality homes. Okay. What I mean by that is I am not about just selling you anything that hits your radar. We're looking for quality. I'm going to tell you how to look for a house. We want to find a house that's got good bones. When I say good bones, I want a good roof, dry basement, good mechanicals, things like that. We're also going to focus on how to get you some free quality experience representation to help you every step of the way. And what I tell people, if you follow all of my steps, I promise you, you can get into home ownership. My biggest hurdle and what holds people back sometimes is just not having that hope. Let me ask you this. What if you could please type this in the chat box? What is holding you back? Is it money? Is it credit? Don't know. Always like to learn that. So let me know what's holding you back. So here, one of the first, actually, oddly enough, Emily Cook is on with us. She every now and then Emily pops in, but this is my Emily story again. One of my favorite ones. I've got a lot of favorite ones, but Emily more so just because she is a pioneer and really opened the floodgates for a lot of people that probably never thought that they could purchase a home. So Emily and I met probably, she just told me the other day when I had talked to her, by the way, Emily, I will pick up that punch bowl you promised me. So the house that she purchased actually was an estate, and it had a punch bowl in it. And I told her I always wanted to get one for my wife, and she has graciously set it aside for me, and I need to carve out time to go get it. But anyways, Emily actually qualified for several programs. She qualified for a 3% gift program, which gave her 3% of the purchase price to the down payment. She qualified for a $5,000 closing cost grant, a $500 appraisal grant, and $25,000 from the City of Detroit Down Payment Assistance Program. So all in, she was $33,134. So she just needed $500 when she signed up, and a couple $100 due at closing. I think she had to pay for a home inspection in there too. That might have been $350. So all in, she was probably a little over $1,000. But very, very excited for Emily. And the house that she actually got was just an absolute gem. The outside doesn't do it justice. You know what? Let me give you a feel for it. I'll do this quickly because I know we've got a lot of things to put on your radar this evening. But I want to show you the type of house. So Emily's house, actually, as nice as it was on the outside, the inside was just in great, great shape. So underneath this carpet was all hardwood floors. Kitchen was fairly updated. excuse some of the items there. It wasn't an estate sale, but the lady that owned it was going into more of a nursing home. But the home was just in great shape. Tile was in great shape. And more importantly, the basement was so dry. I mean, this carpet had been down there for probably 20 years. So this basement probably never had a lick of water. And there was actually a full bathroom in the basement. So this, in my mind, was an absolute cream puff. They had a great owner on this house. But that being said, let me get you back to this. So with that being said, I want to start to jump right into things. So who is tonight designed for? Tonight's designed for people that are tired of renting. And I get it. A lot of people have heard all of these promises before, but I'm here to tell you one thing I pride myself in is keeping it real. So I am going to give you the straight scoop. You're never going to hear no from me. It just might be not right now. So I realize, like I said, a lot of people have heard false promises before. I am not about building up hype. I'm building hope and giving you a clear path to get where you need to be and get out of that renting rut. Because right now, the rental world constantly, that's the biggest thing I hear is that it's pretty disheartening what you're getting for your money on the rental world. So we're going to go over some more success stories in a moment here. I will tell you that there is no magic here and there is some work involved. And what I mean by that is we need to prove your income. We need to have some type of credit profile. Doesn't always need to be perfect, okay? You don't need perfection to buy a house, okay? A lot of people wait when it comes to buying a house because they think they need to have everything perfectly lined up for income and no debts and things like that. That's not the way. You don't need that, okay? So what you do need to do is just check the boxes, okay? So so please don't think that you need to have everything perfect. It doesn't have to be that way. And I always tell people with a little bit of coaching, imagine what if you could qualify for these programs? What if you never had to move again because if you're renting, chances are you're probably going to have to move. So, and like I said, what holds people back? It looks like, okay, money. I'm here to tell you right now, I see money is the big thing. Oddly enough, money is the easiest part. Okay, you're going to see a common thread through all of these success stories I'm going to show you. I think Emily needed about $1,100. I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to get a rental pretty much anywhere in the country, you got to have probably $3,000, $4,000, sometimes $5,000. Most of the people I'm going to show you today purchased homes with under $3,000 out of pocket, many of them under $2,000. Okay, so I am here to work with everyone's budget. Okay, and I get it. A lot of times when I connect with people, they have no intentions of buying a house. But when they find out they can and we get them pre-approved, we figure it out. Okay, we'll do the deposit as little as we can. We'll get everything will work within your budget. Okay, so here are a couple of more success stories. Here's one with Nate. Nate purchased this home. Actually, he was out in Highland Township for $260,000. He actually got a $14,000 down payment assistance program, and they are putting a solar system on his house as part of that pilot program. Haven't run through that one the whole way. Nate hasn't had it installed yet because it's the winter time, but he is in line for it. So I will keep people posted with how that one progresses. Here's one, Kenneth. Kenneth is one of my favorite stories. Kenneth actually called me when he was in a barber's chair. He found out he was being evicted from his house. The person he was living with moved out and a lease was in his name, and the landlord said, sorry, no lease, gotta go. And so we were able to find a house for Kenneth. He actually, when he called me, he was actually working with an agent that was kind of forcing him into a house in an area that was a little bit challenging, to say the least. And it has some issues. So I went out, took a look at the house, and just said, Kenneth, definitely we can do better. And we found this house. He was able to purchase it for $95,000. He just needed $1,000 out of pocket. So he paid for the home inspection, gave me a deposit, and then I think really he had nothing to do at closing. and I think his payments were about $700 a month. He actually got $10,000 from the state of Michigan to purchase this home. So very, very happy for Kenneth. And here's another one. Shannon purchased this home. This one is actually on Wyoming. And Shannon actually works at the Kroger at Wyoming and 8 Mile. And I have actually been blessed with a few people at that Kroger. So shout out to the Kroger at 8 Mile in Wyoming. There have been a few people that kind of came my way, word of mouth there. So very, very happy to help Shannon. She qualified for a zero down grant program, actually through Flagstar Bank, where there's no mortgage insurance. So it keeps her payment quite low. So we wanted to find something very close to where she works because and this is a growing trend, she just doesn't like to drive. So she wanted something close to work so she could walk there. So very happy for Shannon. All right. Next thing, my goal this evening. Number one is to give you confidence. Okay. I want to give you confidence that you can actually pull this off. Okay. I feel confidence comes with knowledge. And I want you, I don't really want to call them strategy calls anymore. I like to call them discovery calls. Okay. So my goal is that you schedule some time with me so I can learn your situation and help you dial into some of these down payment assistance and grant programs so you can purchase with very little money out of pocket. Now, whether it's 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years, it doesn't matter to me. I've probably a few people that I'm going to talk about this evening were actually following me or going to my webinars for 2 years before they, I don't want to say got the courage, but basically felt like they were empowered enough where they could pick up the phone and talk to me and we're able to get them done. So again, my goal this evening is to dispel the biggest beliefs out there. Number one, that you need money. Okay. You don't need a lot of money. Got a couple $1,000, you're good. You don't need great credit. I've got some programs that go down to 580 credit scores. And there is chatter, if you are in the Detroit area, that the City of Detroit $25,000 down payment assistance program might be coming back. Last time that was out, I was able to get quite a few people on that program with credit scores all the way down to 540. So that one has no credit score requirements. So great way to get a house if you're looking inside the city right now. And for people with fixed income. Oh, by the way, that first person I told you about, Emily, she's on a fixed income, Social Security. And they're actually the last person I told you about, Kenneth. Kenneth was the one with the blue house. Kenneth, Social Security income. So don't let anyone tell you you can't buy a house with fixed income. We just need to find the right program, the right situation, and more importantly, the right house for you. Okay? I routinely tell people and show them how to purchase homes with very little money out of pocket. So please don't be shy. My only ask for you is that, hey, please look me up on Facebook, look me up on YouTube. Go to Own the Roof, OWNTHEROOF. I'll give you some links there in just a few minutes. That's all I ask. Please go there and follow me. And oh, by the way, I want to offer everybody that sticks around this evening till the end, and I'm going to do my best to try and get this done in an hour. But like I said, I'm offering a lot more content than usual. We just got done publishing my book called No Down Payment, No Problem. I'm going to give that book out to everybody this evening. All you have to do is, and I'm going to give this information to you right now, 248-252-7283. In that book, I give you free access to the 2,500 programs that are out there. This is my cell number, 248-252-7283. Add me to your contacts. My name is John Collins. Okay. Sorry, I didn't introduce myself earlier, but I have been doing this a long time. Gosh, I got in real estate in 1987 and had a nice career selling real estate. Got married. After I got married, hey, selling real estate, raising a family, not the easiest thing. So I moved over to the mortgage world. Had a really nice career in the mortgage world until it wasn't nice. Until I actually opened a company and had a really nice run for probably 14 years. We opened a title insurance company, and unfortunately, I was a victim of a bookkeeper that felt he was entitled to take some of the money. So after a really hard fall with the businesses due to embezzlement, it was very humbling experience. It took a long time for me to dust myself up mentally, physically, everything after that. But I am back in the saddle, found my true calling, which really wasn't chasing numbers, trying to be the top salesperson any longer. For me, it was all about helping people. Once I really discovered the passion that there's so many programs out there that people really have access to. And what I find is that a lot of loan officers and banks just don't point you in that direction. So that's what I do. I shine light on all of these programs, and that's what we're going to teach you about today. Here's another one. Tashiana purchased this house using the Detroit Down Payment Assistance Program of $25,000. So all she needed out of pocket was $1,500. We used $20,000 for a down payment and $5,000 for the closing costs. So very happy for Tashiana. I haven't talked to her in a while, but great quality house. As you can see, I am all about quality houses. This was actually on Rosemont in Detroit. So next thing I want to do, I want to go over the 5 topics that we were going to talk about this evening. First thing, get ready for this one. How do we access these programs? Okay. We do that through our application. It's called nodownpayment.app, nodownpayment.app. In fact, I'll give you that in just 1 second. Let's go here. Where is that? No Down Payment app. I'm going to put this right in the chat box, I think. There we go. Okay. Now, during this app, and I'm going to do a sample of it in a second, they're going to give you down payment assistance programs and they're going to give you grants. Okay. What is the difference? Grants, 99% of the time, free money. Okay. Live in the home for a little while. You don't have to pay it back. Down payment assistance programs are a little bit different. Okay. Half of them have to be repaid. So sometimes there's no payments until you sell the house. Sometimes you might have to make little payments along with your mortgage. Sometimes the little payments are included in your mortgage. They're all different. For me, I'm all about the free money, so I always try to grab the grants first. Sometimes we can start stacking them up, like you saw with Emily. Emily. You can see where we stacked the $25,000, the 3%, the $5,000 closing cost, and $500 appraisal. You can start stacking these grants. Okay, a little bit more challenging nowadays to stack grants, but I have a feeling once the Fed starts opening up the coffers in a couple of months, I feel like we're going to be back to stacking stuff again. But more importantly, how do we get to this application? It's available on my website, okay, and that's going to take you right here, okay? Basically going to tell you no down payment money is out here. Let's see if you're eligible, okay? All you got to do is type in an address. I always like to put in the house I grew up in on Lamphere in Detroit, and tells you it qualifies for 20 programs. Now, if you really want to get into this, you can. You can just type in your city name and the state, put in a sale price. You can put in whether or not you want a single family, duplex, triplex, quadplex, how many are in the household, whether or not you own a home. If you answer these questions, it's going to get more accurate with regards to what programs are out there. But just in the interest of time, all we have to do is hit the Get Details button, enter your information, and you will be emailed instantly. And just doing this, where it goes, and this is what you're going to get. You are going to get a list of all the programs. So this tells me that right now, that home on Lamphere, where I grew up, currently qualifies for 20 home buyer assistance programs up to $25,000. And then it'll list all of them. So pretty cool. It tells you everything that's out there, even tax credits. So lots of options there. So make sure you lock that in. You can get it through my website. I'll walk you through my new website in just a few moments. but you can get right to it just by going nodownpayment.app. Okay, let's get back to things here. All right, so that's how we tap into the programs. Okay, and you'll get a list of everything. Next thing, qualifications. What goes in? What kind of qualifications do we have to have? So there's three main things that go into getting approved. Number one is income, two is credit, three are assets. Okay, we got to show your income, whether it's a fixed income, whether you're W-2. It doesn't have to be. They like to see 2 years of employment history. Doesn't have to be with the same employer. Okay, so if you had a couple of jobs over the past 2 years, no big deal. We just need to show 2 years. Okay, sometimes you might be out of work for 3 months. Okay, so then we show them 2 years and 3 months, just two solid, not solid, but 2 years of work history. If you are self-employed, they will ask for tax returns. Okay, and self-employment is 1099 income or obviously being self-employed. They also have what they call debt to income ratios. They don't want to see more than 45% of your income go to your new house payment along with whatever bills that you have. So let's say, for example, your income's, let's just say $4,000 a month. 45% of that would be $1,800. If we subtract a car payment of $400, maybe credit cards, student loans, things like that of $100, that takes you down to $1,300 a month for a house payment. Right now, depending upon the program, that could buy a $150,000 house or a $200,000 house and get your payments that low. Now, there are some minimum credit restrictions for most of the programs. A lot of them start out at 580 and then they kind of change. 580, 600, 620, 640, 680. So the big thing is no recent late payments. Recent late payments tend to derail things, okay? Isolated late payments, we can sometimes explain those away. But if we've got some habitual recent lates, that becomes a problem. And collections. If you have recent collections, that can also derail things a little bit, depending upon what they were. Keep in mind, medical collections don't count anymore. If you need help on that credit front, I do a credit repair webinar. Please register for it. And we're just finishing my book on how to get your credit scores up for these programs. But let me give you the link. Here it is. This is to my credit repair webinars that I do. I tend to do those. The next one's not going to be till January. Okay. But just reach out to me. Happy to help you. If you can't wait that long, just book a call with me. Hey, here's a link to book a call with me. Click on that and you're going to get 20 minutes with me. This is free. I don't charge for this. I love learning your story, figuring out what we need to do to get you on the path to home ownership. Like I said earlier, whether it's 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, doesn't matter to me. Okay. I'm all about the end result. So, but please pick out that time. If you need help on the credit side of it, please schedule a call. Always happy to learn your credit situation, put myself in your shoes. So I don't know if I shared this. I did tell you that I had business dealings where somebody embezzled and took money. Well, with that, it tore me down to the point where I had bankruptcy, foreclosures, you name it. So that was 15 years ago. It was a lot harder to rebuild credit then than it is now. But I know exactly what to do to get you where you need to be with the least amount of effort. So when it comes to credit building, I consider myself pretty astute at it. So that is what we need from a credit standpoint. With regards to assets, remember I mentioned just $2,000 to $3,000, even less. A lot of the people that we're going to talk about this evening got in with only $1,000. Heck, I had somebody just closed yesterday, got in with only I think it was $480 out of pocket. Crazy. Don't think I've had anything that low in quite some time. That was on she purchased the home for $93,000. So we're able to have the seller pay closing costs, put her into a nice zero down grant program, worked out quite well. So you don't need much money. Now, the only thing that I want to tell you that we do need we need to have a house that's in good habitable condition. Cosmetic things, we don't worry about that. Okay, paint, carpet, stuff like that. I'm not overly concerned with that, but we do want something that's in good habitable condition. It's got to have an operating kitchen and bathroom, and we do have to have furnace and water heater in there and all the utilities running before we can close. Now, how do I structure these transactions? Well, a lot of times this is how we would do it. So let's say, for example, we had a house for about $150,000. Taxes might be $2,000. Closing costs are $2,000. Homeowners insurance might be $1,500. Title insurance $1,200. Hey, your closing cost might be $6,000 to $7,000. Hey, the down payment is $5,250. If we tap into a down payment assistance program of $10,000, that's going to take care of most of this $12,000 bill. So all you need is about $2,000 out of pocket. Here it says $1,950, and the payment on this one was only $1,314 a month. So very close to what people are paying in rent. Right now, the average two-bedroom apartment across the country is $1,300 a month. And I know that may seem high to some people out there, but that's actually very affordable. Okay. Now, how do we find some homes? Well, I always tell people you can never start looking soon enough. Okay. My website is always a great place to start. Here it is, micitysearch.com. Okay. Now, this is just southeastern Michigan. I always tell people, if you're out of state, Zillow's not a bad place to go. Redfin, I like their website even more. I think their website's even more transparent. I don't like Zillow nearly as much. They sell your data like crazy. So please don't input your data. Just use it as a tool to see how your money spends. Reach out to me, and then I'll be happy to connect you. Especially, I think we had somebody in here from Tennessee. For the most part, I think everybody else is pretty much the Detroit metropolitan area. So when we are looking at homes, I always tell people, please focus on the inventory that's been out there for a few weeks. Right now, I find that, at least in southeastern Michigan, the market is still pretty good. And I still think people are tending to maybe overpay a little bit. So I find if you focus on the homes that have been on the market for a couple of weeks, you don't tend to overpay. And sometimes there are deals that are falling apart after 2 to 3 weeks. No fault of the property. It's just that sometimes people realize, hey, I paid how much for this house, and the home doesn't appraise, and then it goes back on the market. So what's good about that is the sellers realize that they may have overpriced it a little bit, and now we can actually get an affordable deal, and we can get a seller that's a little bit more amiable to possibly paying some of your closing costs. Sometimes the houses go back on the market because maybe there's some deferred maintenance, maybe the taxes are too high or at assessments. A lot of reasons homes go back on the market. But I find if you start looking at that inventory that hits the market today, you tend to overpay a little bit. Okay. Not so much in some other areas of the country. Other areas of the country are a little bit more reasonable right now, but at least in southeastern Michigan, still somewhat of a seller's market when we start looking under $200,000 right now. So now, one thing I always tell people, as you're looking for homes, start putting your banker's hat on, okay? Like your appraiser's hat. You want to make sure the roof is in good shape, the ceilings look good, floors look straight, no stains. And most importantly, if there's a basement, try to take a look at those walls, make sure there's no water that's been down the basement, stuff like that. So these are things that tell the story. When I walk up to a house, first thing I'm looking at is the roof. Okay, that's what people are charging for roofs right now. Roofing companies, it's insane. So I want to make sure that roof's got some mileage on it, or some time left in it, I should say. So, and then I want to look at the brick on the outside, make sure everything looks straight. Make sure the ceilings look good when we walk inside. And like I said, floors and basements for me tell the story. So that's where I'd like to go first. So now, when it comes to looking for a house, I always tell people experience gets it done. Do not let someone be your learning partner, okay? There are a lot of lenders out there. There's not one lender that does all the programs. I find that a lot of lenders do one, two, maybe three, programs. So that's why you don't always get the best programs that are out there. So I find that most people tend to go to the lenders to get the pre-approval first at the direction of maybe their realtor. I don't know, but that's not always the best thing to do. In my opinion, you want to go out to my application and see what down payment assistance programs and grants are available first. Then we'll see what lenders do those programs, making sure you're tapping into the most amount of money possible. Okay. So when it comes down to finding that lender, please reach out to me. Let me make that introduction for you, because without fail, every month I have at least 4 or 5 people that call me that go directly to a lender, because I tell you the lenders that do the top 5 programs we're going to go over in a few minutes. And what happens is they don't get the calls back. They don't get the attention. What happens is they go to a loan officer with some of these lenders that I don't know. And if they don't know me, they're not going to communicate. So allow me to introduce you to some of these lenders. I can share your story, make sure that there's some open lines of communication. And more importantly, when there are hiccups, and there's always little hiccups, that's just the way this industry is. If the day there's no hiccups, that's the day you don't need me. But when it comes to this, I can hold them accountable. Like, hey, why aren't you calling, Daryl's phone call? I mean, he's left you a couple of messages. So I can hold them accountable the whole way. And more importantly, I can take my 37 years of experience and insert it in the conversation to get you across the finish line. Because in my opinion, experience is what gets these deals done. Okay. Now, my name is John Collins. Like I told you earlier, I am actually a realtor. Okay. My job is to educate you, get you into as many programs as I can, get you the most amount of money possible. So I'm going to identify all the programs out there, find out which ones are best for you and which ones you qualify for, help you structure the deals to get the most amount of money out of it, and more importantly, get you in with as little money out of pocket as possible. And the reason I say that is that's where we tend to find value. Okay. So if I keep all the money in your pocket, or as much as I possibly can, you don't have to think twice about going in and painting, maybe putting new carpet. You're buying a better quality house, because I always tell, we want quality. We don't want lipstick. There are enough guys out there in this real estate community putting lipstick on houses right now. I encourage people to please navigate around that. We don't want lipstick. Okay. We want quality. All right. Also, I'm going to help you navigate the whole process to mortgage approval. And most importantly, make sure your numbers stay in alignment. Doesn't happen very often, but every now and then, sometimes the numbers are off. And when they are, we've got to find ways to do it. And that's one thing that my experience does. I know what levers to pull and buttons to push to get as much money as heavenly possible, especially at the 11th hour. I can have those high-level conversations with mortgage companies to get deals where they need to be and in alignment with what you were promised. Okay. So with that being said, those are the 5 topics. Now I want to give you my top 5 programs. Okay. Now these programs, for the most part, a lot of these are available all over the country. Number 5, right now, well, every state has the version of a down payment assistance program. So somebody in Kentucky, if you do Kentucky or Tennessee is what it was, Tennessee down payment assistance program or Tennessee Housing Commission, you're going to find a down payment assistance program available in Tennessee. In Michigan, we have one through the Michigan State Housing Development Authority. They currently have $10,000 available. Okay, we can use that $10,000 to cover all your down payment. Whatever's left over can cover some of your closing costs. And they actually had a $25,000 first-time homebuyer program that was for first-generation home buyers. That is actually, there's chatter that that's coming back in the next couple of months. So stay tuned there. Number 4 on my list, rural development. Hey, any of you looking outside some of the densely populated areas? Rural development loans you can buy with no money down. I'm getting rural development loans approved for people with credit scores all the way down to 580. Very flexible on income, loan limits up in the 400s, and a very low mortgage insurance factor. So rural development loans, great way to buy a house in rural areas. Number 3, First State Bank. These guys have a $7,500 down payment assistance and closing cost grant in low to moderate income census tracts. Your credit score just needs to be above a 600 and you'll get 7,500. So great program. There are some income restrictions. So get in touch with me with regards to income restrictions there. Guild Mortgage. This one is one of my favorite programs. That's why I have it at number 2 right now. It's a FHA loan. They will give you the money for the down payment. So 0 down FHA loan. Only requires a 600 credit score, no income restrictions, available anywhere in the country. Great program. Minimum credit score is 600. You don't need to be a first-time home buyer, and it does cover 1 to 2 family units. So anybody out there looking to be an investor, this is a good way where you can buy a house, rent duplex, I should say, rent half of it out, and boom, that half you're renting out many times will come close to covering your whole house payment. So love that program. And my number 1 program is actually a destination home program through Flagstar Bank. This program just got somebody done in 3 weeks, no money down, conventional loan, no mortgage insurance with a 0 down. Crazy program, just because it keeps your payments so low. 600 credit score requirement. Actually, I've gotten people done with no credit score. So if you don't have any credit scores, boom, this is a program for you. The seller can pay up to 4% of the purchase price towards your closing. Only available in low to moderate income area. Again, this one covers 2 family properties. So if any wannabe investors out there that are first-time home buyers, great way to buy a house. So those are my top 5 programs. And here's another success story. Here's one. April purchased this home. It was on Philadelphia in Detroit. She qualified for a $25,000 grant, 3% gift, and $5,500 in appraisal grant and closing cost grant. So altogether, $32,900. She only needed $211 at closing. That was on top of her $500 deposit, and she paid for a home inspection of $350. So very happy for April and her husband, James. Great couple. Talked to them quite a bit. So those are my top 5 programs. Now, I want to go over a top pick. Okay, this is a pick. I can't believe there is still money sitting out here on this program right now. This is the Tobias Harris Homeownership Initiative. Now, these programs, there are programs like this all over the country. So the gentleman that lives in Tennessee, please schedule a call with me. I'll hunt down this program in your area. The Tobias Harris program actually offers $75,000 in 9 zip codes in Detroit. I've closed a couple of these deals. Great program. It's $75,000 or 40%, whichever is lower, and it covers some really good areas. English Village, or I should say, East Village, Indian Village, Regent Park, Franklin, Maple, Dexter, Linwood, Core City, Warrendale on the west side, Eastern Market, McDougal, Grandmont subdivision just outside of Rosedale Park, beautiful area. Morningside, East English Village is included in this. So imagine, I just had one. East English Village, $187,000. We were able to get her $75,000 for a down payment assistance program. And this also covers the University District too. So here is one that just closed in the University District. So we were able to get $73,000 in down payment assistance, $41,000 gift of equity and 4% concessions to cover her closing costs. A crazy amount of money. So we wrote this up as a purchase price of $187,000. Her loan amount came in at $70,000 after we totaled everything up, and her payments were only $716 a month. This was Deborah. This was a home on Cherry Lawn in the University District. So you can see there's Deborah signing her papers. Just closed. This one actually closed last Tuesday, a week ago today, I think. And then myself, Deborah, that's actually the seller on the right, LaDon. What a great, she actually bought the house from her landlord, who was gracious enough to give her a huge gift of equity to purchase this house. And in the lower left-hand corner, you've got Steve Narden with a Guild Mortgage, who actually pulled this whole thing off. This is probably the biggest amount of money I've ever seen anyone receive in southeastern Michigan. Now, when you start looking to other areas of the country, it's insane the amounts of money that are out there. In fact, I'll give you a feel for it. So let me jump out here and, oops, I'm going to take you right to my new website, which we're almost done with it, but I just want to show you owntheroof.com. And the reason I want to show you, there are tools here to really help you every step of the way. So we are all about empowering renters to own. Here are our resources. So for example, any of you that want my publications, please text me your name, your email address, and we'll get this off to you. Okay? No down payment, no problem. Great book. Goes through all the steps. Also gives you the link to all of the DPA programs. And my next book, the No Credit, No Problem, that one should be, it's in formatting right now. We should be able to have that uploaded to the Amazon store, hopefully by the end of the month. For any of you that need help on that side. Okay? Now, people that attend my webinars, I give these books away. Okay, I know it says purchase now, but I am like a pay it forward person. I do this because I love doing it. So if any of your friends or family members need these books, just let me know. I think it's important that we get this word out there. Okay, so let me see where we are with this chat. We've got so many questions in here. Oh, Emily, you are so welcome. North Money. All right. Good. Let's go back here. Finish up here. So this also will give you access to my Zero Down webinar. You can book a call with me here in my credit repair webinar. We are in the process of building out courses. Okay. We are taking in my book and we are actually doing a no down payment guide course where people can watch videos of everything that's in the book. Same with the credit. And we're following that up with a structuring webinar or courses where we want to teach people how to structure these transactions so they can purchase with very little money out of pocket. It's not rocket science, but if you don't know how to structure these things, it's sometimes a little bit tricky. And there are a lot of levers to push, levers to pull, buttons to push. A lot of things that are behind the scenes that are a little bit more high level that really come along with experience. There are a lot of ways to get lender credits to cover your closing costs that lenders just don't lead with, okay? And that's why I want to come up with this structuring deals to get people in with this little money out of pocket. That's why I say money's the easiest part. So, great. Good. Now, let's hop on some of these questions here. So, and I want to make sure that you schedule this call. I really want to get to know every single one of you and find out how we can get you, your friends, or your family into home ownership with as little money out of pocket tapping into these programs. So one more time, I'm going to give you my cell phone number, 248-252-7283. Please text me there. Send me your name and your email address, and I will email you a copy of my book. Okay. So let's get into some of these questions we have. And okay. Got it. Yeah, credit and uh, down payment is really what holds people back. You know, I have somebody saying right now they've got a credit score of 665. Hey, 665, that gets you into like 75% of the programs that are out there. Now, in order to sometimes what I would call run the table, if your scores are above a 680, so for example, there's Emily, April, they had great credit scores above 700. The higher the scores, the more money we can tap into. But sometimes we get limited. Right now, all of those programs aren't available. So that being the case, um, and like Emily said, her mortgage payment was cheaper than her rent was. So, I mean, it's amazing how much is out there, and it really is mind-boggling how a lot of this information, these programs have been around for a long time. I shared with you earlier, I got in the business in 1987. These programs were available. It's just that people never talked about them. In fact, when I first got into the business, we were encouraged, oh, don't waste your time with those types of transactions. Go get some of the easy ones. And you know what? Truth of the matter is, these aren't hard. You just need to know what steps to go through. Yeah, granted, there might be one more step, but nothing to really be concerned with. Um, I have a question. Can you qualify and use more than one grant? Absolutely. Okay, that's my job. So what I typically do is I want to find the grants that we can stack, and more importantly, align you with lenders that are going to be able to run the table and tap all of those grants. Not all lenders can do that. Okay, so there sometimes it takes a little bit of finessing, and sometimes I actually have to go, hey, you offer one program, but we want two more. Can you apply for those? And more often than not, they can. It's just a little paperwork on their side. Um, do they cover Harper Woods areas? Actually, yes, Terry, there's a great program in Harper Woods. It's actually through National Faith. And not that I want to go off topic here, but let me do this. If we go out to, whoops, sorry to do that to you there. If I go out and National Faith Program, let me make sure they've still got some money here. And it looks like, as you can see, they are still sitting on 329,000, and it is available in Harper Woods. You look right in the middle of the page there, you'll see Harper Woods. This program will give you $14,000 free money, own the house 3 years, you get to keep all the money. It'll give you $13,999. I take that back, as 5 years on this one. This loan is forgivable after 5 years at 0%. So you never make any payments. They put a second mortgage on the house. It just sits out there. As long as you make your payments on time or make your payments after 5 years, that lien gets extinguished. Okay. Great program. So Terry, please reach out to me. I want to connect you with that program while it's still got funding. That's got $300,000 sitting in it. So please schedule a call with me. Only requires a 580 credit score too. There are some income restrictions, and usually depends on the size of the household. So typically we want to see a 56,000 for a one-person household, 64,000 for two, 72 for three, so on. So great program. All right, next question. Let's get back into here. And great, got your information here. I will try to get those books out to you first thing tomorrow. Great question, Brittany Benson. Is it more likely to get more grants and money if you're a first-time homeowner? Yes, it is. Okay. So a lot of these programs, you don't have to always be a first-time home buyer, but to get the most, you just cannot have owned a home within the past 3 years. So I look back 2008 to 2012, very, very humbling times in the industry and for myself. A lot of good people lost their homes. So as long as you haven't owned a home in the past 3 years, boom, you are now a first-time home buyer. So without fail, I get a handful of people every month that fit that model. Okay, Nathan Wilson, great. I will lock that in once you send it. Nathan, can you please text me your name with that new number, Nathan, so I can lock it in? Great. Let me ask you this, because how many people have been following me more than 1, 2, 3 years? If you've been following me for a while, could you please put how many years you've been following me in the chat box? That always makes me feel good. What if you filed bankruptcy and it's been discharged 2 years ago? Hey, as long as your bankruptcy is over 2 years old, we are good. Okay, that's it. So now, not for all the programs, we want to look for programs that are specifically underwritten by FHA guidelines. So, but schedule a call with me. I'm happy to tell you exactly what programs we want to work with and make sure we put you down the right path there. Okay. Got it. So if you are in bankruptcy, that is kind of a game changer right now. Doesn't mean no, it just means just not right now. If you are there are two types of bankruptcies. There's Chapter 13 and there's Chapter 7. Chapter 13 is reorganization. If you're in Chapter 13, we need to have 12 payments on time to the trustee before we can do anything. If you're in a Chapter 7, we have to wait till it's discharged for 2 years before we can do anything. Okay, sounds like a long time, but for a guy that's been through it after businesses went down, I'm telling you, it flies by. So, but what is great though is you can reposition and you can build your credit so quickly with a lot of the tools that are out there. So I encourage you, please reach out to me so I can make sure that you're embracing the best tools that are out there, or go to my credit repair webinar. I go on that in detail, what to do as far as rebounding from bankruptcy. Hey, if your credit is not that great, like I said, go out to my credit repair webinar, and I am going to, here you go. There's the link to it. Okay. Are there limitations for getting grants and down payment assistance programs for condominiums? No, there are not. That's a great question. Although condominiums are sometimes, they're approved a little bit differently. And what I mean by that is the association has to be approved too, okay? So it's kind of a case-by-case basis. So some programs are a little bit more flexible with condos than others, no question. So I guess there might be some limitations from that standpoint, but I haven't really encountered too many with a lot of the down payment assistance programs, certainly not the grants. Okay, Gabby, we'll get that book off to you. Brittany Benson. Oh, good. Glad about 1 year. Okay, so hey, tap into that credit repair webinar, Gabby. Happy to help you with that. Or if you don't have, just schedule a call. I don't think I've scheduled my next webinar for my down payment assistance, for my credit repair for January yet. I think it might be the first week in January, but you'd have to look. Lisa, great. Happy to get the book over to you. Okay. Nathan, glad you're making it the first time around. So great. All right. Great. Terry, I will please text me and I will get that book over to you. You are welcome. Good. What other questions do we have out there? So I'm going to go over my recap here. So any other questions, please type it in the chat box. You can ask me anything. Like I said, uh, I've worn a lot of hats in the real estate world, whether it's mortgage, title, sales. So there haven't been too many questions that haven't hit my radar. So a couple of things we have covered. Actually, it's not 2,300 programs. It's up to 2,500 programs across the country right now. We've covered the qualifications for a lot of those programs, how to structure those deals so that people get in with like $2,000 or less out of pocket, and my philosophy to find good quality homes, and most importantly, how you get good experienced help. Okay, I'm telling you, that is the key. Do not let anybody be a downer. And I hear it all the time. I Don't get me wrong, not all down payment assistance programs are great. Okay, there are a couple of down payment assistance programs, actually more than a couple. There's several that aren't good. Okay, and what I mean by that is they're charging higher interest rates. You got to pay it back over time. So I'm not about those programs. I'm all about tapping you into as much free money as possible. And then we're going to start tapping into some of those down payment assistance programs. Now, some of these programs, zero interest, just own the home for 3 to 5 years and you get to keep all the money and they release the loan. Those are no brainers. Okay. But there are some where you have to pay them back. Okay. So regardless of time. And I'll let you know what those are, and then that's your decision. And sometimes, hey, if I've got to pay the money back, but I get free use of it, why not do it? Okay. Every situation's a little bit different. And I'd like to know yours before I really give advice on that front. Oh, great question. How long does this process usually take? Well, it depends. If sometimes if we need coaching, it could take 30 days to coach your credit up. Most people, heck, I just had somebody got done in 21 days yesterday on the #1 program through Flagstar. Okay. So there is some excess capacity in the mortgage world right now. So I always tell people it's based on how quickly you get your documentation into the lender. So if you have credit scores above 600 and you've got income, no reason actually, but the holidays coming up, I better say 30 days. Okay. The holidays kind of throw a monkey wrench into things. So as quick as you find a house, if we find a house in a couple of weeks, so it might be a couple of weeks and 30 days. Sometimes we'll usually find a house in a week. So it might be 30 days total. So usually doesn't take too long. If we need some coaching, then it could take a little bit longer. Monique, you've been following me for a year. Great. Thank you very much, Monique. I appreciate it. What about income? Well, are you referring to income properties or just where is your income? So typically we got to prove your income to qualify. They want to make sure that that they're giving you a loan and they're giving money to somebody that has the ability to make the payments. So we do have to prove your income. Great, Brittany. I'll look forward to talking to you tomorrow morning. Disability income. Yeah, that's fine. That's no problem at all. As long as it's long-term disability, great. So if it's Social Security disability, even better. That's guaranteed money. So we just take that and we'll figure out how much you can qualify based on that disability income. Sometimes I have people that have disability income from one person in the household, maybe Social Security income from another. We add them together and we're off to the races. Sometimes I get people that are disabled, disability income, but they still have a part-time job. We add that to the equation. So there's a lot of scenarios there, but do not think that disability income keeps you from purchasing. You know, Gabby, self-employment is not an income. We just need to know what your we basically just derive your income from what's showing on your tax returns. So usually we can do that but with a phone call. So schedule a call and I can go through that and tell you exactly what we would do to calculate your income. Someone is asking, Thomas is asking, how long do you have to be at a bank to get a mortgage through a Bank of America or Flagstar? You don't have to be with a bank to get those. So right now, we're like in an era of what I call digital banking. So a lot of people don't have bank accounts. They'll have Chime accounts. They have accounts with Let's see, what are some of the other ones? They'll have online banking, so they get like debit cards. Sometimes with Social Security or through state or different things like that, the money gets loaded up onto a card. Hey, that's a bank. So you do not have to have a bank account. We just have to show where your money is being deposited that way. Okay. Got it. Gabby, you are an owner operated. You're an over the road person with a 1099. Yeah, just have your tax returns. What we're looking for, Gabby, is what is your adjusted gross income for the last couple of years? Then we can average that back. Now, if you're an owner operator, make sure you have your tax returns, because chances are you're writing off quite a bit. And when you're depreciating a large truck, we can add that depreciation back to your income. So anyways, so a little bit more complicated, but I've been through it many times, so happy to coach you through it. Terry Oliver, I will definitely give you a call tomorrow. You have covered all of the questions I need to know. Oh, good. Good. Looking forward to it. Vanessa would like the book. Great, Vanessa. Please text me on my cell phone number your email address, and I will get that off to you first thing in the morning. Thomas, a Chime Bank help build your credit score? Yes, Chime Bank has some great credit building tools. I go over a lot of credit building tools in my credit boosting webinar. So if you need credit boosting, let me know. I mean, the title for my webinar is always 60 points in 60 days. It's very easy for me to get people's credit scores up 60 points in 60 days with some of the tools that I have out there, and some of the ways that I tell them to manipulate things on your credit report to get a quick spike. Good. All right. Any other questions out there? Well, here's another plug. I am going to ask for some help here. Here is my YouTube channel. You ever want to see old replays of these webinars? They're all out on YouTube. If you can go out there and subscribe to my YouTube channel, give me a little boost, give me some love that way, I appreciate it. And then possibly on my Facebook. Here is my Facebook too. Please go out there, follow me. If you're on Instagram, please follow me, Own the Roof. So gosh, the more followers, the better. So anything I can do to help you further the message. I find that my goal is just to reach as many people as possible. I realized tonight, I think we had almost 100 people sign up. We might have had 30, 40 people online tonight. That's wonderful, great. Always appreciative of all of your time, appreciative of all of you carving out time, especially on a Tuesday evening during the holiday season. So this will be the last webinar I do this evening. So if you have any friends or family that are interested, they can catch my replays on YouTube or sign up for my webinars, or just tell them to book a call. I love learning people's situations and finding ways that we can introduce value and get them out of the renting rut, I call it, and into home ownership. Thanks, Gabby. Appreciate that. All right. Any other questions before we call it a night? I am past 8 o'clock, and I apologize tonight. I probably threw way too much information in a very short period of time, but I am all about giving as much educational content as we possibly can. We hope to have our courses up by the end of the month, so that'll be a course on the book too. So good. Look forward to it. Lanika, good. Yes, I will get that off to you. Brittany, you are welcome. Hope you enjoy your evening too. Kim Carter, hey, good. Thank you. I appreciate that, Kim. Lanika, thank you so much. You are all so welcome. I appreciate all of you this evening. Hope you and your family have blessed holidays. Merry Christmas to everybody. And certainly hope that our paths cross again soon. If you have any questions, never hesitate to reach out to me. I'm going to give you my cell phone one more time, because 248-252-7283. Always the easiest way to reach me. Just shoot me a text, and I'm a phone jockey. I'm on the phone all day. So if I do get a break, and I get a lot of people, hey, people schedule calls, and then I find that life gets in the way of all of our plans. So it's not just shoot me a text. If I have a break between calls, I will call you right back. I pride myself in returning all of my phone calls by the end of the day. So for that reason, I try to return phone calls as quickly as I get them, just because I know what it's like to be waiting when it comes to purchasing a home. So, Carla, you are welcome. Vanessa, thank you. You are welcome. Terry Oliver, bless you too. And thank you, Nathan. Bless you. Bless everyone. Thank you all very much. Have a Merry Christmas. And like I said, hope our paths cross again soon. Have a good night, everyone. Okay, Facebook. All right. Any questions out here? Wonderful. Well, let me give you my 248-252-7283. This is my cell phone number. If you ever need to reach me, this is the easiest way to do it. If you'd like a copy of my book, just text me, book, email address with your phone number, or not with your phone number, your name with your email address. Text that number. Just say copy of the book, and I will get it off to you and automatically register you for my next webinar. So thank you all very much for watching this evening. If you're watching this at a later time, hope you're getting some benefit out of it, and hope our paths cross again soon. Have a good night.